Welcome into College Corner, Wednesday, college hoops, getting you my favorite plays. I got 4 of them for you today, some totals, some sides. Can't recap yesterday's picks because I'm recording this before the slate does come out. Again, I always say I'm getting these picks to you early, so if you do see any line changes and you want to know whether or not you should still be betting on them, drop that down below in the comments, or you can shoot me a message on Twitter. That link is down below in the description. We've got tons here on Wednesday to get to, so let's not waste any more time and jump right into it. All right, first up, 6:30, we've got Georgetown and Seton Hall. I really like the over in this game. Over 141.5. These two teams met up not too long ago, did clear this number by a couple of points. I think they scored 146. Now, this number is low because these two teams played a relatively slow pace, 262 for Georgetown and 224 for Seton Hall. But what makes up for this lack of pace is the fact that these offenses have some significant advantages. Georgetown's a team that looks to knock down a lot of threes, led by Jaden Epps. Seton Hall is a team that, in terms of their defense, about middle of the road in three-point defense, and they're giving up a lot of three-point attempts. 41% of opponent shots are from three. That's well above the country's average. So you've got a decent matchup here for the Hoyas, and even if they do miss some shots, they've been a really good offensive rebounding team, almost top 40 in the country offensive rebounding wise. Then Seton Hall ranking right around the middle of the country in defensive rebounding. So we got a good advantage here that if these threes aren't dropping, there's some second chance points available that we can make up for it. Now, Seton Hall in their offense, they look to exclusively get their points on the interior. They don't take much of any threes. Their three-point rate, I think, is outside the top 330 in the country. Georgetown is terrible on the interior defensively. Marquette had their way in the game against them on the weekend because they've really struggled to defend inside. They rank 350th in the two-point defense. 55.8% their opponents are shooting. And then finally, not to mention, Seton Hall's a team that's monstrous on the offensive glass, 7th best. Georgetown, 290th defensive rebounding wise. So they get on the offensive glass. They don't protect their own rim very much. Or very often or very well. So looking for two teams that I think can be pretty efficient offensively. And even if they aren't, you're looking at two teams that can get on the offensive glass and get some putback opportunities to get us over this number. So I like the over here, 141.5. Next, we move to the ACC, Pitt and NC State. Pittsburgh is on the road here. Plus 3.5 is what I'm going to be taking with the Panthers. I like them in this spot. Don't see huge value like being given to either side when it comes to home or road. NC State has not been anything special at home, while Pitt actually on the road has actually been quite good this year. If you remember, an impressive road win at Duke not too long ago as well. So I trust this team on the road. There are a lot of teams in college basketball that prove to be very fraudulent on the road. That's not the case for Pitt. Pitt's a team wants to get their points on the outside. They take a lot of threes, almost 45% of their shots, which is top 30 in the country. So if you're looking for a team to be backing or to be fading against Pitt, they've got to struggle to defend the three, and that's exactly what we have here at NC State. They rank 228th in three-point defense, so look for this offense with Blake Hinson to be super efficient offensively. And then as well, despite their three-point shooting prowess, actually a pretty good rebounding team. Top 80 offensively, top 20 defensively, and NC State on the glass below the country's average in both offensive and defensive rebounding. So I always like to see a team that has an advantage in this spot, particularly because you're looking to take away extra possessions from your opponent while getting some for yourself. And that can be a major difference maker if you're not making shots in a game. But I expect Pitt to be able to do so here. Now, for the Wolfpack, this is a team that is super, not going to be tournament bound offensively, super inefficient shooting wise. They're 230th in effective field goal percentage. They're not going to get any second chance points because I mentioned how good Pitt is defensive rebounding wise as a top 20 team. And Pitt's a pretty good defense from the field, 53rd in opponent effective field goal percentage. So no matter how NC State gets these points, they're going to be tough to come by, and just naturally against any opponent, they're not scoring enough. So I can't trust them at home, even as a short favorite. So give me the Panthers at plus 3.5. All right, back to another total here. Texas A&M and Missouri. I like the over 141. Low total here. That's because we got a very inefficient Texas A&M offense, one of the least efficient ones in the entire country, definitely in the SEC. Despite returning Wade Taylor and Tyrese Radford, they just have not found their footing offensively. Mizzou is definitely going to help them here. Not only are they a pretty mediocre, below average defense from the field, but there's two things that Texas A&M looks to do. Mizzou is a bottom 20 defensive rebounding team, and they're 314th in opponent free throw rate, and that's going to play in exactly what we want for this Texas Texas A&M offense to find some efficiency and find points. A&M is the number 1 offensive rebounding team in the country, while Mizzou, like I said, bottom 20. That's a massive discrepancy between these two teams. And then A&M's getting 23% of their points at the free throw line, which is top 30 in the country. And Mizzou, like we mentioned, bottom 50 team when it comes to putting teams at the line. So even if A&M is not efficient on their first attempts, they're going to get opportunities at the line. They're going to get opportunities with second chance points on the offensive glass. So points-wise, I think they can do their part here. Then for the other side of things, A&M is a team that is defensively giving up a lot of threes. So looking at my numbers here, over 44%, almost 45% of opponent shots are from three. That's 345th in the country, bottom 20 in the country as well. Mizzou, a team very happy to play on the perimeter. They like to take a lot of shots from the outside, and I think they'll be efficient doing so as well with some really high volume in this game. A&M is defensively against the three, 34% their opponents are shooting outside the top 200 in the nation. So look for these offenses to be pretty efficient here. Mizzou's a decently fast team as well. This total's low, but I think these offenses will do enough. So give me the over at 141. Final play, late night here in the Pac-12. I like Stanford quite a bit against UCLA. They're just a short 2.5-point favorite. Perfect sell high spot for the Bruins, who have won 5 of their last 6 games. It's a great time to sell on them because I think this is just a terrible Mick Cronin team this year. The losses of Jaime Jaquez, Tiger Campbell have just caught up to them. They just do not have reliable scorers. Stanford coming off that hard-fought loss to Arizona. I thought they played really, really well. Things got away from them a little bit at the end, but there's a road game where they were 17-point dogs, and they were in it up until the last few minutes. I think that what I like here, they held their own defending on the interior against an Arizona team that has a ton of size. UCLA wants to score inside too. They just do not take any threes, but they are as inefficient as they come in the power conferences. They're shooting just 45.2% from 2. That is very, very tough to do. They get some help by trying to get some extra opportunities on the offensive glass. They're not a bad offensive rebounding team, and they do get to the free throw line a little bit. But Stanford, top 20 team in keeping teams off the lines. They do a great job of defending the interior without fouling, and they also do a great job protecting the glass because they got size of their own. Top 60 team defensive rebounding wise. So UCLA is going to have a tough time here. I really think that the defense for Stanford has an advantage. The offensive side, UCLA is still a good defensive team. Offense has some major struggles, but the defense is still a quality unit. But UCLA's opponents are taking a lot of threes. That's where they're finding their open looks. 43.3% of shots. That's almost bottom 30. It's bottom 30 in the country. So Stanford's a team that's going to take some threes. They've already been doing that a lot this season. 41% of their shots are from 3, but they're shooting unbelievably efficient from 3. 39.1%. Spencer Jones, Michael Jones, those are 2 guys that have been shooting over 40% on the season from 3. Look for them to be efficient in this game and find some points. Spencer Jones had a really tough game against Arizona. Michael Jones was off the charts incredible in that game. Look for Jones to bounce back and Spencer to bounce back and Michael to keep things going. So I really like Stanford here coming back home to be able to cover and win this game handily. All right, those are my 4 favorite plays in Wednesday in college hoops. Guys, if you got some valuable information, learn something about these college hoops teams, getting you into the depths of the college basketball season, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well if you're new, because we do have college basketball content coming to you multiple times a week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.